lot of people that are joining us today are either already have teams or maybe you're a solo agent. And so we won't talk too much about the team aspect. I'm happy to share more of that with you, but I just want to make sure everyone's getting the most value for your time. So we will go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm having my 3-year anniversary of being with eXp this month. I've been in real estate for 20 years this year. So started in 2005. And so it's been 20 years. My team usually closes about $60 million throughout Virginia, DC, and Maryland. And I came to eXp 3 years ago after being at both Keller Williams and Pearson Smith. So I can definitely speak to both of those brokerages comparing with eXp if that's something that is of interest to you. I am a lifetime top producing agent with NVAR on a lot of those best of lists, and I have reached icon status at eXp 3 years, and we'll talk about what that means. I'm the immediate past chair for the top producers committee at NVAR, and I've also been on forums and grievance committee. So definitely have a lot of experience in our industry. So Jennifer Mack Properties is my team name. And then a couple other terms that we're going to use as we go through that I want to make sure people understand. The way eXp works is when you join eXp, most people choose a sponsor. Not everybody. I think I heard 7 or 8 agents a day actually join eXp without naming a sponsor, which to me, I just don't understand. I think that you get so much value out of picking the right sponsor that it's hard for me to believe that people would join and not pick a sponsor, but that's how much value this company has. Even if you don't have an upline that you can lean on, there's still so much to like about it that that many people do join without it. So the name of the group that I'm a part of at eXp is called Fast Forward Movement. And then our local group is called Fast Forward Movement DMV. And so the way that it works is depending on who your sponsor is, they're part of a certain upline or revenue share group, whatever term you want to use. And so depending on who you pick as your sponsor, you will get access to certain uplines and the resources that they provide. And I have to say that Fast Forward Movement is definitely the upline that I think gives the most value. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But definitely something to consider when you are looking at sponsors is making sure that the resources that they provide are going to be the ones that are going to be the most beneficial to you. So again, we have Fast Forward Movement, which is started by Mary Maloney, Dan Beer, and Kyle Whistle, all agents in the San Diego group that came over to eXp at the same time. And now there's, I don't know, 8 or 9,000 agents within Fast Forward Movement, and it's a very robust, active group, and we'll talk more about that. And then anybody who's in Fast Forward is also part of what's called Honey Badger. So that's kind of the broader upline that we're a part of. So we can still tap into all of the resources of the Honey Badgers, but the people that started Fast Forward Movement wanted to really distinguish themselves as a upline focused on production. So Fast Forward Movement is full of some of the top producers in our company. It's really impressive when you look at the top agent lists within eXp, how many of them are part of Fast Forward Movement. And that was something that I was very interested in when I joined. So hopefully that makes sense. So eXp currently has more than 85,000 agents worldwide. So we're actually in 25 countries. eXp has been around for like 10 years at this point. So it's not a startup. We definitely have our systems down, have our operations down. You won't be the guinea pig for anything, which I really appreciated. I didn't want to be part of like a brand new company where I felt like I was going to be a guinea pig. I didn't want that. The company's had 5% agent growth year over year and ranks, at the very top when it comes to agent count, volume, transactions, and all of these different leaderboards. It's just really amazing the amount of transactions that eXp agents are doing. So now we're going to go into a little bit about why I chose eXp. So the eXp model really drives retention among highly productive agents. And so I was interested in going to a company where of the agents that are super productive and doing a lot of sales, I really wanted that attrition rate to be low. So when you look at this chart, you can see for agents doing a lot of sales, like say 13 or more sales annually, the attrition rate is extremely low. So it really is a company that is able to really cater to agents that are doing high production and keep them at the company. And I was like, okay, if they're all staying, then there must be a reason for that. And so that is part of why I made the decision to join eXp. Who you partner with at eXp really matters, which I already mentioned before. So, of the agents that do leave eXp, it's because they did not feel like they were getting the support that they expected from their partner agents, or they just felt like their core values were out of alignment. So, who you pick as your sponsor at eXp is really important, whether it's me or whether it's someone who's in my revenue share group that invited you to be on this call, then you would also get access to me. So, very important who you pick for your sponsor. If you make a decision that you regret as far as who your sponsor is, then you would have to leave the company for 6 months before you can come back and have a different sponsor. So that's definitely something to think about if you're thinking about joining, is making sure that you make the right decision in that regard, because it really is important. I'd like to feature some of the amazing people in my revenue share group. Meg Chapesky, I just checked her production for 2024, up over 10% since the prior year. She's doing amazing. She is a veteran, so if you're looking for a sponsor with that sort of background, someone who's in multiple markets, Meg might be a great choice for you. She is actually expanding to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Hampton Roads, Virginia. And I'm just so impressed with her and her team. She has an amazing team, and they've just done a great job plugging into eXp resources, and it shows in their sales. Caroline Hirsch is one of my team members. Caroline's actually been with me for, I think, 8 years at this point. I need to check how long it's actually been, but Caroline's part of my team, came over from Pearson Smith to eXp with me, and she listed off some of the things that she really appreciates about being on the team. So if you're here thinking maybe you want to join a team, Caroline would be a great reference to have. Otherwise, I can definitely get you connected with other agents within my revenue share group who might have a similar business to yours, and they can definitely answer any questions that you have about what it's like over here. So a couple different things to look at when you're seeking the perfect brokerage. So number one, incredible training. So eXp has more training than you would ever even be able to utilize. They simply have a class or a mastermind for everyone. And we're going to go over some of those schedules in a little bit so that you can see everything that we have access to. But it's really amazing how much training we have. Most of it is virtual. A lot of it's recorded, so you can, watch it later, watch it at your convenience. But then within our local Fast Forward group, we definitely have in-person trainings. We just had one yesterday. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds. Yes, eXp is a virtual company, but if you align with Fast Forward Movement DMV, we definitely have a lot of local in-person resources, which is great. Obviously, increased production is something that most agents are looking for when they're trying to pick a brokerage. So we really have the technology, tools, the community support, all of the resources that you would need to help you with increasing your production. Multi-income streams. So we have a lot of multiple income streams that we're going to talk about, and that's one of my favorite parts about eXp is I'm not just generating income from my transactions. As I progress in my career and as I get older, that's really, really important to me that I have revenue coming in, even if I want to slow down with my production or take some time off, something like that, I can still have a lot of income coming in. And then passive income. So we're going to talk about that as well. We have had some new partnerships at eXp. So recently we've announced a partnership with Canva Enterprise. So it's free of charge. You have access to all of our brand templates, brand kits, all of the amazing features of Canva Enterprise, social media templates, templates for your buyer and listing presentations, business cards, very, very easy to use. So that's a huge benefit where you're not having to worry about recreating, marketing materials. We have all of that available, and it's easy to customize templates. We also have a partnership with Sisu, which helps you with tracking all of your business. I have used Sisu for years and it's quite expensive. So now with this partnership, it is included. The basic version of Sisu is actually included. And really what impresses me a lot about eXp is how they're constantly adding new partnerships. So they are very focused on providing that value to the agents, always looking at different partnerships that they can add. And it seems like every couple of months, there's a big announcement about new partnerships that benefit us as agents. So I just really feel like the leadership at eXp is constantly being innovative and thinking of ways that they can improve the agent experience at the brokerage and really help us with our bottom line, which I greatly appreciate. We also have Zenlist. So a lot of agents ask me, does eXp have a lot of off-market listings? We put all of them in Zenlist. So you have a free account, you can log on, look at all of the listings and give your clients that advantage. A lot of people complain that their brokerage doesn't pay them quickly. So at eXp, many times I get paid the same day. Typically, though, it is within 24 hours. If I have a closing later in the day, I always get paid the next day. As long as your file is compliant, eXp is amazing about paying you quickly. And so part of the advantage of it being a cloud-based brokerage is they've got people work with it's one company. So you might be with a market center now that has one person cutting the checks. So if they're sick or they go on vacation or they turn in their resignation, you have to wait for somebody to figure out how to pay you. Here, there's multiple people on staff. One person's out, they have other people covering, and it's a very efficient system. I've been very, very impressed with how fast all of that works, and I've had very few mistakes with checks. Very fast brokerage support. So we have all sorts of ways that you can reach multiple brokers. So depending on how you prefer to communicate with brokers, we have a lot of different ways that you can do that I'd be happy to explain to you more in depth. And so it's very easy to get a hold of brokers. We also see our brokers in person. So just yesterday, Esther, our principal broker for Virginia, was at a training that we had at one of the offices. So we do see the brokers. It's not like you might think with a cloud-based brokerage. We actually have relationships with with our brokers. So all of this means that eXp is really a great place to grow. You can have ownership of your business and ownership in the brokerage, build a community of really diverse experts. There's someone who's an expert in everything here. You just find who that person is, which I'm always happy to help you, and you will get all your questions answered. It's a company obsessed with the future. So, like I said, very innovative, always tapping into new ways of doing things. And so it's a financial model where you can choose where and when you do your business to achieve your ultimate freedom, which I think is probably what most of us are looking for. All right, so to go over the commission structure, in case you're not familiar, it's a very competitive commission structure. So we do have an 80-20 commission split and a $16,000 cap. After you cap, you're going to earn 100% of your commission for the remainder of your anniversary year. After you cap, then you're just paying a $250 transaction fee. And then once you've paid that in up to $5,000, you are completely done with paying fees. Actually, I'm sorry, it reduces to 75. So just a very nominal fee to, pay for the staff that's processing checks and brokers and all of that. Our costs over here, I always want to be very transparent about all of the costs. There's a $149 startup fee, $85 a month cloud brokerage fee. So some brokerages have an annual fee. We have a monthly fee, $25 transaction review fee per transaction, and then a $60 risk management fee. So that would be for errors and omissions insurance. And the risk management fee does cap out at $750 a year. So once you've paid that in, which is about 12 transactions, then you are good to go. You don't owe any more on that. So it really is a scalable company. So you'll see a lot of teams that come over here that are doing hundreds of sales per year, and this really allows them to be very scalable with their costs. All right. So, like I said, we do have multiple income streams. So, here's some of the different opportunities that you can earn additional income. So, we offer equity awards through our incentive program. So, eXp just you're going to get $200 of stock for your first transaction closing, $400 of stock when you cap, and then $400 of stock for anyone who you attract into what's called your first line. So, anyone who you directly attract and names you a sponsor. After that agent closes their first transaction, you're going to receive $400 in stock. So this is just, basically free stock that gets put into a Morgan Stanley account and it just adds up. So you can go in and check it and it's just adds up and it's a beautiful thing and just kind of a bonus of being here at the company. You can also voluntarily enroll to receive 5% of commission and up to 5% of commission in stock at a 5% discount. So you can change that each month based on your cash flow needs. But like I said, you can invest 5% of your commission check in stock, and then you do get that 5% discount, which is nice. And about 65% of agents and brokers participate in this program, 35% don't. So it's completely optional, no pressure whatsoever. If that's something that you want to do, you can. If not, no problem. Now, I mentioned earlier the Icon Awards. I've made Icon Agent 3 times in a row. And that's where you're going to receive up to $16,000 in stock back after you achieve certain production metrics. So it's when you've done about, I would say, 22 to 23 transactions. So if you're an agent who routinely does 22, 23 transactions in a calendar year, then you are going to be going for Icon. And it's a great incentive for those of you who maybe do a little bit less than that. It's a fantastic incentive to work towards and to get that stock back. And I'd be more than happy to go over with you exactly how that works. But like I said, I've received it 3 years in a row, which is really nice. So I kind of look at it like eXp is paying me to be here. I'm not paying into stock. I'm not paying my cap outright. I'm paying it and then I'm receiving it back in stock, which is amazing. All right, so you've probably heard about eXp's revenue share program. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by this slide because it definitely is a very complex system, the way that it works, and it does take a little bit to understand it. Once you understand it, it seems very easy and obvious, but I understand that it does, it might look a little bit overwhelming to you. So we're not going to concentrate too much on exactly how the numbers work. But just understand that when people join eXp under you, if they're directly under you, they would be in your tier one. If, excuse me, if someone in your tier one attracts another agent, that would be in your tier two, and so on. And so I think I've currently am built out to tier five. So I have 3 or 4 agents in my tier five. Before long, I'll be in my tier six. And then I would say by the end of the year, I will have my tier seven built out. And this is how much money you can make per year for each agent under you that caps based on what tier they are in. They're currently, as of July, they introduced what they call a bonus. So the bonus currently is that any agent in your first tier, you can make up to $4,000 per agent when they cap. So that's really, really nice. And it definitely does add up. So this is something I'd be more than happy to talk to you about. And explain to you because like I said, I know that the chart can seem a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're not used to how revenue share works. One of the big differences between eXp and a company that does profit share is that revenue share is calculated off the commission that agents make under you, as opposed to being calculated off the profit that your office makes. So I've been at other companies before that offered profit share, and there was absolutely no way of predicting how much I would receive every month because I had no idea how profitable overall the office was going to be because I didn't know what the expenses of the office were, whether they were having a good month or a bad month in terms of, just office expenses, salaries, things like that. So there was no predictable way of knowing how much the check was going to be for. And it was very frustrating and made it something that just really wasn't even an incentive to stay at that company. Whereas revenue share is completely separate from what the expenses of eXp are. I receive revenue share if someone who is in my revenue share tree has transactions. I receive revenue share until they cap. So it's a much more predictable way of understanding what that amount is going to be. And we get paid every single month. I got paid my revenue share today for January. So it's usually around the middle of the month. Very predictable, never have a problem, and it pops right into my bank account. They did recently add a feature where there's a pay now button. So say it's the first of the month and you would like to go ahead and get your revenue share that's been accumulated as of that day. There's a button you can press and they'll go ahead and deposit that money to you. I think it costs a couple of bucks. And so that's a nice feature, so that you know that you always have access to the amounts of revenue share. So, like I said, more than happy to explain this more in depth if you're interested. I love to share about this just because I think it's such an amazing opportunity. All right. We also have eXp commercial. So if you're a commercial agent or you're interested in commercial, or if you know commercial agents who might be interested in joining a different company, you could join and then work and then speak to them about coming over to eXp. It's a really great financial arrangement for them because a lot of commercial agents are used to paying a huge amount in cap fees. And here we just don't have that. So our commercial division is really growing. We also have eXp Luxury that you can join if you would like to. It gives you a ton of extra exposure for your listings and a lot of international publications. The marketing is really nice and slick. There's referral groups within the luxury community where you can get referrals. There's special eXp Luxury events. So if you're a luxury agent, this is a really great thing to take advantage of, and I'd be happy to share more with you on that. So going over to the training, this is a sample calendar of the training within what's called eXp World, which is a web-based program where you can go in, watch a ton of different trainings with eXp agents that do a lot of business. This is something that's available to all eXp agents, no matter who your sponsor is, you're going to have access to a ton of training. There's masterminds, there's influencer groups for depending on how big your rev share group is. There's icon agent groups if you're an icon agent. We do have events every year. So eXpCon is our big national event. It was in Miami this last October, and they're going to do it in Miami again, which is great. It's so much better than going to Orlando, in my opinion. So it's a really great conference. And so we're having that again in October. We also give out a lot of agent awards. So, just because it's a cloud-based brokerage, we still have a lot of these things that brick and mortar brokerages have. So there's really not a lot to miss when you come over to eXp. All right. So Honey Badger, like I said, is that bigger umbrella group above Fast Forward Movement that we can take advantage of. So Honey Badger offers 3 weekly classes that you can take. I don't usually take advantage of those, to be honest, because I get so much out of Fast Forward Movement that I don't really have the bandwidth to also take advantage of Honey Badger trainings, but they're certainly there. They're really good. I have done them from time to time. So I just want you to know that that does exist, but chances are you're not even going to need that because you're going to get so much from Fast Forward. Here's some pictures of some of our Fast Forward events that we've had. So these are just various trainings that we've had, events that we've gone to. I see some pictures of us in San Diego. I see a picture from Las Vegas. This one at the top middle was from an event that we held locally here at one of the country clubs. So like I said, there really is a ton of in-person collaboration. The picture at the bottom in the cell phone, that is our local conference room that we have here at our office in Tyson's Corner. So again, we definitely get together a lot in person and have great events, and then a lot of them just for fun. So a lot of wonderful opportunities to join in on. Here's the weekly training schedule for Fast Forward Movement. So like I said, there is so much training. You will never, ever, ever say that we do not offer enough training. I've never heard anybody say that. So the training is going to be tailored to kind of where you're at in your business based on production and then also just what your goals are. So some of these might be something you're interested in. Some of them might be something that you don't have interest in and you never take advantage of. On Mondays at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, this is for everybody. So the Monday morning mastermind, anybody can get on. It says Monday morning because it's 10 a.m. Pacific time because it's hosted in California, but 1 p.m. here. So really Monday afternoon. We do a master class every Monday. We have a mastermind in Spanish twice a month. We have what's called the lieutenants group. So that's if you're doing 15 million or more in production or 30 plus units. That's every other Tuesday. The generals group is if you're doing 50 million or more in production or 100 plus units, you're eligible to join the generals mastermind. So really trying to make sure that we're tailoring the training to what your production level is and making sure that the conversation level is on point as far as the topics that we're going over so that your time is never wasted. So these are amazing resources. If you are interested in growing your revenue share, there's a mastermind twice a month that my friend Joe Turco leads. He has, I think, 300, 400 agents in his revenue share group. So, and all of these are free. There's no cost to be in any of this coaching. We have a new agent launch program. So if you're a new agent or if you have a team and have new agents joining you, they can get on the new agent launch program. They go through a different topic every single Thursday. So there's a lot of ways of leveraging your training for your new agent so that you don't have to be the one doing it. It's really hard as a busy team leader or busy agent to kind of stop and provide that training. So you can send them over to some of these trainings to take advantage of that. Even if you don't have a team, but have an agent joining in your revenue share group who's under you, you could have them tell them about these trainings so that you can free up some of your time for doing, your production activities. Solo agent masterminds, we have on every single Thursday. So if you're a solo agent, don't worry, we got you. The Monday morning mastermind is also geared really a lot also towards solo agents. So please don't feel like eXp is just for teams. There's a ton of resources for solo agents. And then on once a month on Thursdays, we have a lady leader mastermind that some of my friends run, and it's really great. The topics are always wonderful, the guest speakers. And then at eXpCon, they'll do a luncheon. They did a really fun Emily in Paris themed luncheon this last time in Miami that was great. So you really do feel that sense of community, meeting agents to pass referrals, receive referrals, tons of opportunities in that regard. So again, these are things that are only available if you join an eXp through an agent that's within Fast Forward Movement. So really important to ask that because you would not be eligible to join these if you're not in Fast Forward Movement. Vic DeCaro started our local Fast Forward Movement group back in the end of 2019, early 2020. So she just had her 5-year anniversary, which is very exciting, of being with eXp. And we've now, she has grown that Fast Forward Movement DMV to over 300 local agents. So that's really exciting. And so that's that local group that gets together in person and we have events. We have a Christmas party every year. We have a partnership with Vesta. So you'll see on the left that picture of us with Vesta at a dinner. I think that was a dinner in Las Vegas that we had. So within our local group, there's tons of open house opportunities if you're looking for them or if you need help with having an open house hosted on one of your listings, showing coverage, finding a mentor, passing referrals to each other. We always go back and forth on vendor recommendations. We have a YPN, we'll have happy hours. We have a local grid group for investors that meets at Jay D'Alessandro's office in Fairfax. And then, like I mentioned, we have a Vesta Settlements partnership. They do tons of classes for us. I know tomorrow morning they're having a contracts class for the 2025 changes if anybody wants to jump on that. So that's an amazing resource as well. Here's some of the top teams that are in Fast Forward Movement DMV. So we have some amazing numbers here from last year. So really, tons of experience that you can call on if you're part of our group. We're all here to help you and support you in your business however we can. So just some amazing amounts of production that our local Fast Forward Movement group is doing. So like I said, eXp truly is a group for people who are doing high production. Okay, then we also have local training. So if you're like, oh, I want to join a brokerage that has local training, I want to be in person with people, we have that. So every other Wednesday, we have what's called AHA, Agents Helping Agents. Just yesterday, we did one on the 2025 economic outlook for, financially as far as interest rates and, what the market's going to do. We had that in person in Arlington. Once a month, we have a team leader and top producer roundtable where the team leaders all get together. On Thursday, Patricia Gonzalez hosts a Scripts and Tricks, which is an amazing training that she does every week. She's a wonderful coach. She has a company called Real Talk Coaching, and she has an office here in Tyson's in the same building where my office is. And then, like I said, various classes with Vesta. Here's my team. So if you're interested in potentially joining a team, this is us. And so I just put our core values statement here. So if you're interested in potentially looking at my team or any team within our DMV group, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to different team leaders who might be a good fit so you can kind of chat with everybody. And here's some of the resources that we offer on my team. All right. Excuse me. So that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to stop recording, and then if anybody has questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.